Hi, this is Kitty, and welcome to Dango Duo. Sorry there wasn't an episode for me last week, but I'm back, and we're doing 2 episodes of Euphonium today, episode 2 and 3. So let's just dive right in. We're gonna do the summary, and then we're gonna do the good, the bad, will I keep watching, and then we're gonna jump into the spoiler zone. So let's dive right in. What was episode 2 about? They went to the pool. That's about it. I'm joking mostly. There was a bunch of, drama behind the scenes. But for the most part, episode 2 was about the pool. And in episode 3, we get to band camp. Literally, the Crunchyroll tagline for this episode says, one day at band camp. So, yeah, band camp. And this sounds pretty boring, but we're going to go into more detail, probably in the spoiler zone, about what actually transpires behind the drama. Let's talk about the good. As always, Kyoto animation is fucking gorgeous. Every shot that they do is really beautiful. There are some negatives about that, and I will get to that when I point out my negative. But for the most part, the best thing about these 2 episodes, my god, were they gay. Holy shit, this entire club is gay. Literally, they're on the train asking Reina to go to the pool, and Kumiko looks down at her boobs and is like, aw damn, your swimsuit's tight. So, Kumiko and Reina are obviously top gay, but then we've got Midori in this episode who acts as the wingman for Kumiko and Reina, who's like, you know, I'll let you guys have your time. But then we also get introduced to some other gays and their struggles in the background, like a lot of the third years, or the now third years, what they had to deal with during their previous year of band camp, which is still happening, and it's still kind of but now that we have more characters that are getting involved into this, and especially bringing the first years into something that wasn't originally part of their plot line, it really helps bring out the importance and the drama behind something that previously in the previous season I was kind of about. Now I'm actually kind of getting invested in because, you know, it still affects the characters to this day. But not everything is perfect in neither of these 2 episodes, and my big negative about this is, why is there fan service? Dear God, why is there fan service? We have a character deliver a very important line as she's squishing her boobs together, and then we flash back to that point again, just so we can see her boobs squish together again. And then even in the second episode, there's a scene where they're changing, and I'm like, they could have done this in their clothes. They could have done this in the bath. It doesn't have to be while Reina's in her bra. She's 16, you guys. She's like 15, 16. Enough of this. Y'all don't need this. We're already invested in the gay at this point. We don't need this fan service anymore. I'm so done with it. And both episodes had it, and I'm just like, you don't need it. You don't need it, especially in a second season of an anime. You've already got your audience hooked. Because normally, a series will introduce fan service to kind of hook some people in who might not otherwise be interested in the storyline. Like Love Live had Nozomi, who was your washi-washi character always grabbing boobs. And that was kind of her character trait for the first season to kind of get the male audience into it, other than waifu bait times 9. But I can't honestly remember Sound Euphonium Season 1 having any fan service. There might have been one scene where Kumiko was changing. I don't remember. That might even be the first episode of this season, because I honestly can't remember it at all. And I don't know why they would add fan service where it wasn't needed. I don't quite understand where Kyoto Animation is going with this, and I hope it stops, because you don't need it. Your animation is gorgeous anyway. So despite my big ol' rant, I'm still gonna watch Sound Euphonium. I'm very interested. The drama that they included in these 2 episodes was really good. They're kind of amping it up a bit and getting you more involved, getting the first years more involved in the drama that was previously just the second and third years. So I do really like that. So we've heard the good, the bad, the ugly. What are we going to do next? We're going to jump into the spoiler zone. If you haven't seen the episode and you still want to, go ahead and press the pause or come back to this later, because we're going to be talking about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. I hate the teachers! I hate them so much! I can't stand either of them. And then they bring in a new teacher just so they can be like, oh, are they dating? Oh, there's a hot girl dating the hot teacher. Oh, I know I'm pretty alone on this as far as I can tell from the fandom, but I hate the teachers, man. I can't stand them. And I was reading a small analysis. I didn't read too far because I hadn't watched the episode of Reina being like compulsory heterosexual, and that explains a lot in this anime. But I still don't enjoy her crushing on the horrible teach. Anyway, so the pool episode. Let's start with that. Or as Midori says, let's pool! So going to the pool is kind of like a good way to bring in the fan service, unfortunately. And they don't focus on it too much, except for when the girl is literally squishing her boobs together during a very important line. But it was really interesting to see the flutist girl, Nozomi-senpai, talking with Kumiko, and you kind of get a big sense of why Nozomi-senpai wants to rejoin the band club, which is really interesting, and it's very good to bring that in, because before it was just like, you know, this annoying girl who flip-flopped, and now she wants to be back in the club. So you kind of get her stance on it, but it also brings up, like, a big drama in the series, because at this point, Kumiko is kind of like the mediator between the two parties, because afterwards, Nozomi asks, or actually Kumiko offers to go talk to Asuka-senpai and ask why she won't let her rejoin the club. And Nozomi's like, you don't have to do that, it's just going to be trouble for you. But Kumiko agrees and then goes to talk to Asuka-senpai in episode 3. And the problem with being the mediator is that you have to tell both parties both things. And it's not a fun position to be in. Having been in one myself recently, this episode, especially episode 3, brought back kind of some negative feelings about that. But the talk with Asuka-senpai was good. And it kind of revealed a lot of what the oboist, Yorizuka-senpai, is going through. And you get to see why Asuka-senpai won't let Nozomi back into the club. And then Kumiko becomes at this awkward point where I can't tell Nozomi-senpai what's going on, but she asked, you know, she was like relying on me, but I also can't tell Nozomi-senpai's friend, who is in the club right now, what's going on either, because then she would tell Nozomi, and it's like this awkward mix where Kumiko's just stuck in the middle and can't tell anyone anything, because the whole situation just sucks. It just sucks, honestly. And I like that, but it's also a little too close to home at this point, so it's kind of hard for me to be positive about this plot line, because it's a little, like I said, a little too close to home. The nice kind of cool thing about episode 3 is that they talk about the nature of competitions, and competitions among bands and stuff. And I think that's really interesting, because Kumiko just asks a bunch of people, she's like, huh, yeah, what do you think about competitions? And it's kind of cool to hear everyone's point of view that she talks to. She talks to Yorizuka-senpai, the oboist, and she talks to the bratty girl whose name I can never remember, and she talks to Reina as well. And of course she is very gay for Reina, so she really pays attention to what Reina says about it. And she's kind of the neutral ground, and I appreciate that a lot about Kumiko, is that she wants to kind of help everyone, but she's also not really involved in everyone's drama, so there's not much she can do about it. She just wants to help. And my final note for the spoiler corner, of course the teacher had a wife that passed away, because of course he did, because that's dramatic and sad, and oh, poor teacher. I don't know, I'm already tired of his shit. I've been tired of his shit since the beginning. Literally, both of the teachers are, like, insulting some of the characters, and I am not about that, because they're grown-ass men insulting these, like, 16-year-old girls about, oh, you're... Especially the oboist, who has gone through a bunch, and they're like, oh, your playing is so robotic. Why are you playing like that? And it's not cool to ask a girl her trauma. That sucks, man. And I don't know, these teachers... I don't know, I have a problem with male teachers around majority of female students because of the obvious problems that arises from. But and to top it all off, of course Reina likes the teacher, and of course Kumiko learns about his wife passing away but can't tell Reina because that'd be awkward. I don't know, I had almost actually hoped that the teacher was dating the new teacher who comes in, this lady who's helping the Woodwinds out during their band camp. I almost kind of wish that was, so we could bury Reina's crush on the teacher, because it was old when she first introduced it, and now it's just like beating a dead horse. And I'm just gonna ignore every time Reina talks about him now. Because, obviously, she's gay for Kumiko. So you've heard my opinions. I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Check out our Patreon as well for extra perks that you can get, such as watching these episodes early. But for the time being, I will see you guys again for the next review, which will hopefully actually be on time this time. Woo! Take care, everyone. Bye-bye!